Brittany Simon leaked a DM. What are we even leaking here?
Destiny is famous for being friends with bad people. And when it came to Brittany...
I already know everything she's gonna say, and I know this. Oh, I already know. I pre-watched this in my brain. I already know everything she's gonna say, and I understand what she's gonna say, and she's 100% right. Normally, I wouldn't care. I shouldn't say that I wouldn't care. I should always care, actually. But it's actually bad because I'm setting a bad example. I remember she fought with me in the car for my phone. And if she got my phone, it was all over because she'd see me texting her friend. And, all right, she walks up to me. She slaps me in the face. Brittany Simon leaked a DM.
On a documentary about Steven. So I had like a thing put together for me so that I could go through all of his VODs really easily. And they make it so that I can just pick his channel and then search a word.
Do you think there should be upfront rules set in debates like the Jones ones, like for fairness, only allowing source-based arguments, preventing tangential, rambling, and non-engagement questions? Yeah, probably there should be. But they weren't ever going to do it in that thing.
And I'll go through his entire transcript on his entire channel, and it'll tell me exactly the timestamps of where he says these words. And so, so I can do the same thing on your channel or anybody's channel.
What is this about? What are we even leaking here?
It's just like, yeah, search like Destiny Lunch. It doesn't come up with anything, so the VOD's probably...
I just timestamped for the DM? Why do we even need this? What do we...
Only.
Wait, for that story, when I tell the story, you mean? Or what?
Yeah.
What do you... Oh, well, when Erudite asked me on that, do you guys remember, or do you know that I was on a panel with like Lycan and Erudite and stuff, and they asked me about the friendship with Destiny? That's where I mentioned the text message, if that's what you're looking for.
Okay. Well, no, I think early on when you guys... I could have sworn that you mentioned it a while ago, where he was saying that you guys were friends, and then you were like, dude, we didn't even have one-on-one time. Like, I asked him if he wanted to have one-on-one time, but he was just kind of like nonchalant about it. And so
I mean, I think we had at least one-on-one call that I think lasted for maybe an hour. Maybe? I don't know.
Wondering if in there you said like he didn't really like wasn't clear enough and that wasn't consent for me and I needed to be a bit more explicit or something. And so
yeah, look it up because I do not remember it being a consent issue. I was just trying to imply it wasn't an investment issue, which is totally fine. Like again, Destiny doesn't need to be close to me. It was just like after the bridge burning, everyone was like, he was your best friend, he confided in you. And I was like, I'm so confused about what people think is happening behind closed doors. But I just met this man, and even though I like our friendship, I'm very confused on why I'm given like all this responsibility in terms of his feelings. But I also understand, honestly, can I be real with you? After I saw that Cherry tweet, I was like, I thought we were cool. And I was like, oh, this is how Destiny felt when he saw my video. And so I realized like, yeah, that fucking sucks. But also like, I just processed it as like Cherry's doing her own thing and having her own opinion. But I did for a minute think like, oh, he just felt like I thought we were cool. And we are cool. But I think if you watch my content, you have to know that like I'm very critical, but I love everybody. But I think Cherry is putting out this tweet to almost like say, like, I'm something that's false about me, I think. So like, that's why I'm a little annoyed. But also like, if you don't think I asked for enough consent.
Okay, I don't know. Fuck, I thought I might have been wrong about something. Well, now I'm not sure if people are talking about something in the background that maybe I was wrong about, and now people think I was lying. Tree messaged me a few days ago asking about doing a video, and she asked me about whether or not, I mean, this is all open, I guess. I'm not like leaking anything. Tree asked me whether or not me and Brittany had talked about doing that slap thing before she came to stream, and I said no. So I thought maybe she was like contestant. Maybe she did bring that up before. I just don't remember. I don't think she did, but she might have, and I forgot. But I don't think she did. But also, that wasn't a big deal at all either. So, yeah, I don't know. Or that wasn't like a bad thing at all either. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, never mind. I thought maybe I was wrong on something I said there or something. What slap thing with Abba? Yeah, where she slapped me and then Abba slapped her or whatever. Britt is not contesting that. Oh, she doesn't have to contest that. There's nothing wrong with that. She didn't do anything wrong or bad there. Like, I'm pretty sure she asked me before she did it. It's not like she was like, she just like hit me, right? Although that would be based. All right, let's, do I want to watch this? Tree's point was that when you said it's up to you for lunch, Brittany interpreted that as a no. With the slap thing, you said it's up to you, and Brittany interpreted it as affirmative consent. Oh, wait, what are we even talking about? What video did Tree make?
Hi.
Hi. Live, is it a video? My God, why is this channel so... Tree 311. Do you feel like you have any open questions on the Israel thing? Are you done with it? I feel pretty done with it. The only thing I might want to do now, we'll talk about this at the end of when we're talking about stuff, is learning history of Iran for like the past like 120 years. Might be interesting. Tree 311? Is this a channel? Just Tree 311. The shocking truth. 3 hours, bro. Just Tree 411. Nice. Trigger warning, cherry tweet. Tree of Logic did a stream yesterday explaining how, from her experience as a dominatrix, Brittany Simon was wrong to take Steven saying, if you really want me to, if you really want to do it, as consent to slap him. But Brittany happily took it as consent until Tree said Steven told her he didn't want to do it. I never gave this a second thought. But now I realize things Brittany says from that trip don't add up. To this day, Brittany complains about not having one-on-one time with Steven because when she asked him to get lunch, just the two of them, he said, if you want, and she said, oh, no thank you then. She explained, if you want, didn't make her feel like Steven wanted to spend time with her. Wait, hold on, wait, real quick. Until Tree said Steven told her he didn't want to do it. I've never said this before. This is the... Hold on, real quick. When you say things like nobody cares or whatever, just leave. Come back in an hour. There's so much shit that we talk about on stream, okay? Just come back later. Just come back later. Just come back later. Just come back later. Here you go. Come back in a month, okay? Jesus. Tree messaged me and said, Steven, I need to ask you something. That day when Abba and Brittany Simon came over to your appointment and she sat you down and slapped you on your live stream, was that kick discussed between the two of you before she did that? And I said, no, LOL. But that's all I said. I didn't say that, like, I wasn't okay with it or I told her not to later or anything like that. Like, I never said anything like that. Oh, one thing, Tree means that you were indifferent. You didn't plan to do it before stream. That's all Tree means. Yeah, I know, but like Cherry is interpreting this as though I told Tree that I didn't want to do it or something. Okay. One thing about this channel, okay, you should know this, okay? One thing about this channel is we cover a lot of different types of content here, okay? We cover a lot of different types of content, okay? If there's something on stream that you don't want to watch for a particular point in time, go away and come back later, okay? Just do that. It's super easy. If you complain about like, I don't care about this, you don't have to tell everybody you don't care. I'll let everybody know that you don't care by banning you for a month, okay? It's super easy, super simple. I'm not going to keep doing like shout outs to this on chat. I'm just going to ban you for a month, okay? Jesus Christ. Jerry's interpretation is relevant to the point, no? I think what's happening here is, here's what's probably happening, and here's like the explanation, right? I think what's happening is if Brittany is asking me, do you want to have lunch? And I'm like, yeah, if you want to, sure. The if you want to sounds like she would be forcing something that like I'm not going to enjoy or have fun with, and like why the f would she waste time hanging out with somebody who's not like enthusiastic or excited to hang out with her, right? But when she's asking me about the slap thing, that would be something that would be really fun for her to do. So if I'm like a little bit more, whatever, then she's okay just having fun with that. She doesn't care if I have fun with the slap thing, which maybe that might be Tree of Logic's point actually. But maybe, yeah. This might be me being a pushover moment. Maybe that is kind of true actually, I guess, yeah. Random question, but is view botting a net loss to money? Like, would Kick pay you more per view than it costs to bot per view? No, I don't think people usually pay for views. I think they're usually paying for conversion and stuff like that. While we're on this drama topic, can you address how terrible the Tom is such a good guy memes are? None of these people are funny. I'm tired of pretending they are. I don't know what you keep. I feel like I've seen you type this like 20 times in chat. I don't even know what you're referring to. Oh shit! Hold on. You're getting banned. You're massive shit poster. Okay, Jesus. The shocking truth about Brittany Simon. Why would Brittany rescind her lunch invitation if she didn't think you two were that close? Seems kind of weird. I don't know. What even is the drama with this Cherry person? Cherry has borderline personality disorder. We had a weird situation, I think 2 years ago, where she felt like I was emotionally ignoring her. And then we took like a year off of chatting with each other. And then we kind of reconnected, I think 2 months ago. And it ended up again not going well. And now I'm just forever separated from that person. Yeah, I think I realized that as a public figure or semi-public figure or whatever the fuck I am, I don't think I can deal with, I can't deal with BPD people because when they're not, I think one of the things when I'm talking a lot of shit now, I could be wrong on all this, so warning. I think when BPD people are having their issues of severe, what's the word when you're feeling abandoned? When you're having your severe abandonment, I think one of your compulsions is to spam message the person until they talk to you, and you'll do anything to alleviate the severe anxiety you're feeling with that compulsion, right? That's what you're trying to do. It's like, please respond. And for me, when somebody's having a BPD freak out, I'm icing them for a week. I can't talk to you. This is too much. But the problem is when you're a public figure, well, the next way to alleviate that compulsion is for that person then to go on Twitter and start spamming a bunch of random personal shit to try to get you to respond, which was very, very, very annoying. So I could never trust this person again. Yeah.
Polar opposite. So when you see me say a DNS relationship, I'm talking about somebody's the top, somebody's the bottom. Somebody's the dom, somebody's the submissive, okay? Now, when we're talking about that and we call somebody vanilla, this is somebody who lives a regular life. There's no kink, there's no energy exchange whatsoever, all right? So it's just somebody who just likes, just do everything that ain't dealing with kink. Does anybody have any questions? Let me know, because I need to break this down to you so you can understand, what a POS Brittany is and why I'm kind of shocked that nobody called her out so far. All right. So even though I have retired from the business, there are some times, before I got married, where I would be interested in doing certain dominant things to men, right? But you always have to have consent, especially if they're vanilla. And when someone does something to you without consent, not only have they violated your trust, they violated your boundaries, but they also violated you as a person. You always need
Please recommend a DSLR camera I should get for streaming. I'm looking to upgrade my equipment. The go-to cheap suggestion before was always an A6100. I feel like this was your good stepping stone between a really expensive setup versus a decent camera. But I don't know if there's a newer camera that people recommend or not. So I don't know. That's what we recommend in the past.
Consent. Now, you can get consent without being boring by saying, hi, let me see, what could I use an example? Scenes with a contract. That's y'all watch too much, what was the name of the kink movie?
Response to the vanilla allegation. She's saying that I don't live a kink lifestyle, which is true. I don't know all the BDSM shit that well, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. But when people talk, in common parlance, when people say are you into BDSM? What they really mean is, are you into restraints and choking? That's what most people mean. 95% of people say, oh, you like BDSM? Oh, I'm sub, I'm dom. What they really mean is, I either like to choke you or I like to lay there and do fucking nothing. That's what 95% of people mean. But in actual BDSM relationships, the power exchanges are a lot more visceral. They're a lot more prevalent and sometimes in everyday life, the relationship you have with your partner, and then the acts that exist in the bedroom and the relationships between those acts and the partners, they all of them have these undertones or overtones, I guess, of sub-dom relationships or whatever. When she says I live a vanilla lifestyle, she's saying that I don't live a life of kink. I don't participate in any of that, which is true, which is gonna be true for most people, yeah. Even if you are a dom or a sub person, or even if you do restraints or BDSM, most of the people that say that don't actually live these lifestyles, they just like to do fun things during sex sometimes. It's a different thing, yeah.
50 Shades of Grey. Contracts are only for a slave dominant relationship. You know what I'm saying? So say, for instance, I want to tie a guy. Well, look at Darius. What? I don't need a contract with Darius, okay? Darius pissed me off. Darius disrespected me. And he wanted to do a collab because he thought I forgot. I told you I hold grudges. And I said, no, Darius, you're going to have to submit to me. I need to punish you.
You're the man. Thank you. I will start there. And if need be, I can downgrade. Well, listen, bro. Somebody in chat just said my advice is 10 years old. I don't know if this is like the new, or if this is still the go-to. Hold on. Let's check. Is the A6100 still a good buy for beginners? The A6100 has weather sealing, better build quality, better EV. I would pick the A6400 every single time. Okay, well, this guy 6 months ago said this. So, but this might even be more expensive, so I don't know. Good luck, buddy.
I was very explicit about that, didn't I? Press one if you were here. I said, I must punish you. The only way I will collab with you, you must submit to me. I use those exact words. I said, you made me mad.
Is there a difference between being a sub and being a woman? Yeah, they have nothing to do with each other.
Piss me off. The only way you're going to do a collab is you must submit to me for punishment. I am upfront and honest what I want to do to him. And I said, I want to cane you, spank you.
Have we had enough female crazy orbiters or encounters to change your shitty bubble-wrapped view of women? Or no, more do we need, LOL. I don't know, Golem86. Throw your mom up here and we'll see, okay? What's your bedroom stamina methodology? Just come over and over and over again, okay? Have 50 orgasms, okay?
I want to paddle you. I'm going to tie you up, pull your hair. I just talk all the stuff that result in pain. So I was upfront with him, okay? What you don't do as a woman, or you don't do as a dom, you never do something that someone is not aware that's coming, and you don't do it without consent. So, for example, we'll use Darius again. Say, for instance, Darius didn't know I had a grudge. Didn't know I was still pissed off that he disrespected me.
Is it, when she's talking about Darius, is she talking about our Darius or is it another Darius?
And I want an apology. So let's say, for instance, he was like, he forgot all about it.
Or is she just using him like as a hypothetical example? She didn't actually do anything with him. She was saying like, hypothetically, this is... Why does Tree have 5'11" energy? Bro, Tree is like 6'3" or something. She is insanely tall.
Tree, let's do a collab. And I'll go, yeah, come on over to Georgia. I'll drive up to Atlanta and yeah, we'll do a collab. You can, how about we go to this dungeon? We can have some drinks and stuff like that.
Oh, he agreed to do this when he's, okay.
And he gets there, I grab him.
I don't know if you're talking about coming over and over, but the boys at PK have a solution for our small load friends. Oh, that lock and load shit. I actually tried that for a month or two and it didn't do anything. I don't think that lock and load stuff does anything. If you want to come a lot, there's 3 things you can do. 1 is edge, 2 is wait at least a day or 2 between orgasms, and then 3 is make sure you're drinking lots of water. Those are, I think, from everything I've read and seen, I think those are like the only things that'll actually help you. There's a ton of other people that talk about like all these weird cum tricks or whatever you can do. I don't believe it, and I feel like there's so many mixed reviews online from all of it. I don't know if I believe any of that shit. Were you taking 9 pills? Yes, that is a 9 pill a day regimen. It's fucking retarded. And I don't think it did anything at all. I don't think it helped at all.
I tie his ass down, and then I put a ball gag in his mouth, and I just start beating him. That violated his boundaries. That was done with...
Some people say, so Jessica said celery literally works, or it did for me. When people say celery works, my guess is what's happening. I could be wrong, but celery is like 95% water. I think celery is literally just more water. If you drink water, then you're gonna come more, like literally. I can edge for like 2 hours and go 3 days without coming. If I've drank no water, I'll spurt like 1 drop. Even your mom would be disappointed. I don't know how that makes sense. You figure it out.
Without consent. That was done without his permission. You never, ever...
Do you have trouble coming on Vyvanse? I'm using that shit and it takes a lot longer for me to come. Okay, I will give you 1 negative side effect of Vyvanse, okay? Warning, okay? This is a negative side effect of Vyvanse, okay? Be very, very, very careful. I don't know if this is everybody or just me, okay? Be very, very, very careful because you can unironically fall into a gooning black hole, I think, if you're on amphetamines. You could decide to masturbate at 6 o'clock and then it's 10 o'clock and you don't even know how the fuck that happened, okay? Do not, if you take an amphetamine, like a slow release like Adderall XR or Vyvanse, if you take it at 9, don't masturbate until 9 or 10 at night, okay? If you start masturbating while you're on your medication and it's coursing through you, you might fucking masturbate for 5 hours and not realize it, okay? Be careful. You do not want to do your medicated gooning sessions, all right? Oh, celery also might work because it has zinc too. If you're deficient in anything, then obviously getting your levels up would help too. Zinc is also good, I think, if you're deficient in zinc. I think they can also affect your testosterone levels quite a bit. Or at least a little bit.
Never, ever do that. You never do that. You never do that. Okay? Any man or woman who
Apparently wanting a big load is a male fantasy thing, and most women actually hate it. That is almost certainly not true, but...
violates a person's boundaries and you do something against them without consent, you are a dangerous person and you're also you're a POS. Now, even though I'm retired, the part of me of looking at people playing safely, especially with vanillas, is important. And sometimes I see things that other people don't see. So Destiny is famous for being friends with bad people. And when it came to Brittany,
I already know everything she's going to say, and I know this. Oh, I already know. I pre-watched this in my brain. I already know everything she's going to say, and I understand what she's going to say, and she's 100% right. Normally, I wouldn't care. I shouldn't say that I wouldn't care. I should always care, actually. But it's actually bad because I'm setting a bad example. I've even talked about this before. Okay, real quick. Okay, sex talk time, okay? Never, ever, 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 ever negotiate anything in the middle of an act because people will agree to things that they probably don't actually want to do. For instance, if you get a girl really horny, you might get her to agree to fuck her in the ass because she's horny and she's like, fuck it, let's go for it, okay? The problem with doing things in the middle of when you're heated is because you're horny, you're in an emotional state, you're like feeling good, you've got all the endorphins, you've got everything going. You might agree to something, and after when you're done, you're like, fuck, I actually really didn't want to do that. This was, fuck me. This is like a line that I didn't want to cross. Like, another good example is coming in somebody unprotected, right? Some girls might be like, oh, like, let's wear a condom. You're like, oh, well, fuck it. I'll start without a condom. I'll get one later, blah, blah, blah. When it comes actually to come, you're like, fucking fill me up, baby. I can get a plan B. Fuck it. Yeah. Negotiating things in the moment is almost always bad unless you have a high level of trust and you know that you're with somebody that has a big, big, big backbone. There was a girl that I hung out with in Sweden that was very, very, very good in the moment about like setting boundaries. One of the only people I've met who, yeah. And so I think like if I was somebody like that, where I could be like, hey, do you want to do this? She'd be like, no, I don't actually want to do this. Cool. Most people, unless you know them and you've got a high level of trust, you know they're really firm on their boundaries. Most people, you do not negotiate things in the middle of an act because there's a lot of pressure to agree. The emotions, everything are running wild, blah, blah, blah. I think what Tree is going to bring up is that we're on a live stream. I'm trying to look cool or be cool for my audience or whatever. Brittany's this little, 4'11" girl who suggests like, oh, can I slap you? It'd be cute. I don't think I've ever been slapped before. I don't think so. So to introduce me to a new like kind of power dynamic kink play thing like this in the middle of a live stream that I hadn't negotiated ahead of time for her enjoyment and benefit, like in the moment, is a pretty egregious act of violation of consent. I think that's the argument that Tree's about to make, and she is 100% right. I should have said I should have either lied and said sure since we've talked about this first, so that the audience wouldn't get the wrong impression, or I should have told Brittany like maybe tomorrow we can do it. Let's talk about this first. That's what I should have done.
he thought that Brittany was this.
Didn't you have domestics with your baby mama? Yeah, but we didn't usually hit each other unless it was with like other things. Usually we were just like grabbing each other and choking each other or pushing each other.
Girl. That he could trust. I do believe, if anybody from DGG is here, you can correct me. I do believe Destiny had the nerve to say he could trust Brittany with his credit card and his bank information. Am I misquoting him?
Slapping during childhood can get traumatic, so triggering later in life. It's very personal, so be careful. Oh, Jesus Christ, maybe, yeah. Well, when Brittany slapped me, I didn't get triggered. I did find out, though, which is kind of funny because I've always considered myself immune from trauma because I'm a god. I do have one trauma trigger, so if you're a woman or you ever want to trigger me in life, but if I'm in an argument with somebody and they put their hands on me to like prevent me from moving, that actually, my brain gets into super fuck mode, not in a good way, like very quickly. I realized that in a disagreement I had with Melina where I wanted to leave the room and she like grabbed me. I was like, why the fuck are you touching me right now? Like, are we about to fucking fight? That actually drives me insane. I didn't feel it with Alex though when guys do it to me. Maybe it's only fighting women. I guess most of my fights have been with women, huh? I guess all of my fights have been with women, so. Paste.
Okay, so that is correct. That is correct, right? When I saw that,
oh, that's not actually true though. I did get slapped by a girl once in high school because I wanted to date her friend. The girl that I got rides with. I just remembered that. She slapped me in front of my whole band. The whole band class. What a dramatic event. And then I dated her friend for 2 weeks. And on the day that I brought her flowers and dropped them off, she broke up with me and said, because she'd figured out she was a lesbian. And then I was depressed, and then I hung out with another one of their friends in her house for the night. And then that friend would go on to become my first real girlfriend and wife. First wife. Said, Lord, this little
fool. Okay. I cannot believe he said that about this clown. Now, what y'all don't remember, and I'm talking to GGG here.
The girl you rode with to middle school slapped you? Yeah, what a crazy dramatic situation. I think I've told most of the story before, but basically, like, I was getting rides with her. We were making out every single day after school in her car. I guess I was just not as horny back then. I don't know how I handled, like, making out with a girl every day and not actually doing anything more sexually. I guess because I was a virgin. I was like, what, 14 or 15? So I didn't think about it. We were making out every day in our car, but she had a boyfriend who was in another state. And I think eventually I started to feel like, well, there was a group, there were 5 friends in this friend group. So the first one was the one that gave me rides, not the good rides apparently. Eventually got to the point to where I started to express interest in her friend, but then she kind of started to ramp up her attention to me. Like she was like touching me through my pants and shit. And then I think one day I had asked the other girl, her friend, out if she wanted to go on a date. And then that one girl that was giving me rides, like I remember she fought with me in the car for my phone. And if she got my phone, it was all over because she'd see me texting her friend. And this was back in the day when you didn't have like lock screens on your phone. Like if somebody just got your phone, they could just like look at everything. There was no locking, or at least I didn't know about it back then. I don't think anybody locked their flip phones. Could you even lock a phone back then? Does anybody know actually? Because I'm trying to remember. I feel like you couldn't. I don't think you could lock your phones back then. You just had like it was just your phone, and like people just like look at everything. Maybe you had to manually set it or something. Fuck, I'm trying to think of what the phone was. Hold on. Old keyboard slide phone. Was it? Oh my god. It would have been from the year 2002. No, 2004. What was it? A Nokia? I don't think it was. I feel like it looked like this kind of thing. I feel like it was a Samsung something. Fuck me, I'm not gonna be able to find it. Like this phone? Maybe? Maybe. This might have been it. This might have been it. People are saying a Sidekick. No, not this. I would remember this. Whatever the fuck this is. But anyway, yeah, we fought with... we didn't fight, but we kind of wrestled in the car. She was trying to make deals with me. She's like, I'll let you touch my boobs, I'll let you touch my panties and blah blah blah, and I'm like fighting for my phone, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do any of that. And she's like trying to get it from me. She wants to read these messages, and then I think eventually she gets my phone, and eventually she reads the messages, and I didn't even get to touch her boobs. And then but my issue was that I had asked her if like, did you think that we're ever going to date or anything? But she had a boyfriend that went to another school, and I'm like, okay, well this is kind of weird. You're like mind fucking me, and you're cheating on your boyfriend, and I don't even get to talk to another girl. This seems kind of fucked. But then she was like, but whatever. I didn't say any of that because I was a beta fucking 15-year-old loser. So she drops me off. I think the next day she picks me up. We go to school, or she drops me off at my school, and then she goes to her school. And then that evening, I have jazz band. I think jazz was after school. Her and her 2 friends. So it was her, the one friend that I was texting, and then a third friend, Catherine, my first serious girlfriend / wife, but I didn't know her that well then. All of them walk into my school, and then they walk into my band class, and it's a really big deal because I go to an all-boys school. I go to a Jesuit school, and all 3 of them walk in, and I'm like near the entrance of the band room, and obviously everybody's looking because like, oh my God, there are girls here. And then without saying anything, the girl that gives me rides, she walks up to me, she slaps me in the face. And then I think she says to her friends like, oh, that felt good. And they were like, yeah, good job, girl. And then all 3 of them walked away and left the class. And I remember my band teacher looked at me and he laughed because Mr. Johnson was fucking hilarious. What an awkward moment. My God. And then they left, but they waited downstairs because she had to give me a ride home anyway. And then I don't know how I went from there to... The teacher 100% respected you more after that? Yeah, I mean, obviously it looks like I'm doing some crazy Playboy shit. But in reality, this girl's like fucking like I'm on a wild ride here, okay? I'm on a wild ride. I didn't have a car yet. This girl was my only way to get to and from school, okay? I didn't have my little 95 Dodge Neon piece of shit yet, so this is my only fucking ride, okay? I'm trying to think of how I dated her friend afterwards, though. I don't know why they would have been okay with it. Why are you presenting it as awkward when you clearly feel some pride from it? Why would I feel pride from it? It was insanely fucking awkward. I dated her friend afterwards for 2 weeks, and then I remember that we went to a movie. I don't remember what movie we saw. I do remember. I think. Wait, now I'm gonna see if the date's not up. I want to say we went and saw V for Vendetta, but it would have had to have come out in like 2004, 2005 because it was in theaters. When did this movie come out? Oh shit, it was V for Vendetta. We went and we saw V for Vendetta. And then Destiny, her friends must have talked her up to do that shit too. Yeah, they were all probably probably trying to say that like I was being like some crazy double agent or whatever. I remember we held hands in the theater because that was like a really big deal back then. Because you're like sitting next to a girl and it's so cute. Do you remember like high school? And you're like, you don't know if you're gonna hold hands or not, so you kind of like inch closer and all that gay shit or whatever. And then we did that. I don't think we ever kissed. And then eventually, my older sister went to take me to drop flowers off at her house because I didn't have a car yet. And on my way to drop flowers off at her house, another girl, Catherine, texted me and told me not to do it. It was a huge mistake. And I'm like, why? I think I like her. I think I should give her flowers. This was like a cool thing to do. And she's like, don't do it. And I'm like, okay. And then I dropped him off. And I think that night she told me, listen, I don't think we can date. I'm a lesbian. I'm like, okay. And she was a full-blown lesbian, I guess. Okay. And then I started dating Catherine, who was really cool for a few years. And that was my first serious girlfriend for like 3 years, the one I got married to for college. What a wild ride. Yeah, I don't know. Was everyone dating the same people? I don't know. I feel like people dated around in groups of friends and whatnot, no? Do you ever talk to your exes? Yeah, I hung out with Catherine, I think 2 years ago. She lived in like New Orleans or something, and then we hung out a little. Yeah, she was cool. It's changed a lot, or no, actually, I've probably changed a lot. I think I'm good terms with every ex except for Melina, who I will never be on good terms with. Fuck that demon. Catherine, Rachel, Aaron. Yeah, I'm on good terms with every ex, basically. How have you always pulled LeMayo? I don't know. I was always like in groups of friends with women, and I was always comfortable talking with women, and I was always pretty confident, I guess. I looked like a hideous fucking acne demon, though. Jesus Christ. Are you on good terms with Bad Bunny? I was, but not after the socialist shit and everything. Jesus, how horrible. Were you always comfortable online chatting with girls? Online chatting with girls? I don't know. That's like a whole other thing. I remember that I think I've said this before. I had an e-girlfriend for like 2 weeks who cut herself. I don't even know how. I want to say she played Gaia online, but I don't know how we met because I didn't play Gaia online. Every girl, by the way, before Tumblr, if a girl played Gaia online, she was always fucking crazy. Always fucking crazy. I'm basing this off of one girl, by the way, but that's enough for me, okay? Gaia online is insane. I used to think it was so weird, but I guess it helped me understand the cutting thing a little bit because she would be talking, she'd get like super emotional. I would have no idea what to say. I was like 14. What the fuck am I gonna do to help you with your fucking crazy problems? She would get really emotional, she'd start to cry, and then she would just start cutting herself and it would calm her down a ton. Like you could hear her crying, and then as soon as she'd start cutting, she'd be like super calm and in control. I was like, oh, okay. That was weird. I think I said this to her. I remember masturbating once on the phone for she must have been a pedophile because I was like 14 and this woman was like 40 on the phone and it was on the landline phone. Like you had to call, like you had to listen for your parents picking up. Jesus. Damn, I did a lot of crazy retarded shit. I remember once when I needed a ride to school, before I got a car and after my friend in high school stopped giving me rides, There was a girl that I met in Channel Sex on Battle.net who was in her 20s, and she gave me, because she happened to live near me, and she gave me a ride to school one day. How fucking bizarre. She picked me up, she gave me a ride, we'd like exchanged like 2 words in the car. She was like 8 years older than me, dropped me off, and then I had to get I couldn't have walked home, I must have gotten another ride home. We never spoke again. We didn't have like DMs or anything. We just like talked on Battle.net sometimes, and there was no like instant messenger there. You told us, yeah. She must have been like a fucking pedophile though, maybe? I'm not even sure. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Do you know if that Gaia girl is still alive? I have no idea. I could have rizzed her up for a sec. Yeah, probably. If I would have been on my 14-year-old Riz game. You must have given off strange vibes as a kid? No, I think I was pretty funny. I think if you're funny, I think you can literally... Well, I don't know now, but like, because all the red pill stuff is like brainwash you guys, or maybe the world is different. But when I was a kid, if you can make people laugh, bro, if you can make anybody laugh... I think that comedy and humor develop a ton of different types of social skills. Because if you really think about it, making somebody laugh requires a certain degree of empathy. It requires a certain degree of emotional intelligence. It requires a certain degree of conversational awareness. It requires a certain degree of like wit or intelligence, right? Like if I can talk to somebody for 2 or 3 minutes, remember a couple of key facts, weave something they've said into a joke later on, like it shows I'm funny, it shows that I'm making appropriate humor, it shows that I'm like intelligent because I'm witty enough to do it, it shows that I'm paying attention to the conversation. Like, I don't know, I feel like humor is like just like such a good way to get close to anybody. I feel like if you can make anybody laugh, I think you're so fucking set. I think that's why that's why when I came to the internet, I was so mindfucked by people like, oh my God, you're 5'8", like no girl like you, oh my God, you're 5'8". Like I didn't even know that 5'8" was like short. I never even considered it because I feel like if I can make a girl laugh, I'm like always like good to go. I'm like in. You're in, baby. I mean, I say in, but like there's gonna be, to be fair, there's a lot of girls that would never fuck with me or date me or anything, like cheerleaders or some shit like that, I guess. Hold on, let me get a... Okay, anyway, fuck. Huge tangent. She's gonna say what I said though. I had a rare occurrence at 14 where some women came up to me and asked me to fuck, so I ran away cringe. I had one moment like that in my life. When I was, I think it was when I was 20 and I was working at the casino. I had everything on the casino. This is why I never thought I would get fired. This is why getting fired from that job fucked me up so much, okay? I'm really good at my jobs, my works, okay? I have really good people skills. That's like what I excel at the most, okay? When I worked at the casino, I had every part of this job and every part of this casino on lockdown, okay? Like, I was friends with all of the pit bosses that were out on the floor. I was friends with all the guys that worked in security. I was friends with all the cocktail servers. I knew all of them personally. And I could do every job like in the casino. Or I'm sorry, I could do every job in the kitchen. And I knew a lot of jobs in the casino too. Like if a customer came in, they were complaining they were having a rough night. I was like, oh, well, are you gambling with your rewards card? Oh, hey, let's go talk to some dude. I bet we can get you a comp for fucking food, blah, blah, blah. Like I knew every part of this job. I was so good with customers and so good with all the employees. And I had it set up such that like, so sometimes a cocktail server will come in and oftentimes they'll come in to, during like a rush hour, right? They'll come in at like, 4 or 5 or 6 when it's really fucking busy and there's a line at the door and they'll be like, hey, I've got an order, like, and they would come up to me and they'd place the order personally. And if they place it with me personally, since I was supervising the shifts, I don't have to be in one area. I could cook everything on the menu. I would just run back and I'd cook. So I could run back, I could cook their order, be perfect. Because it was line cooking. It's not hard. I'd be done in 8 minutes. I'd have their plate. And in exchange for that, okay, nobody at the casino knew this, but there was a chocolate milkshake machine that was in the back of the Diamond Lounge for the Diamond players. And so I had all these cocktail servers would bring me chocolate milkshakes throughout my shifts as long as I would go back and like cook the meals for the customers that they would order for so that I could get their food way quicker than if they were to order through any other server or through the line or whatever. One of these servers was really flirty with me once And I was just I wasn't even a virgin, but I was just a fucking retard, I guess. But she comes up to me and she's like, hey, after work today, do you want to go out back and make out? And I like laughed kind of. And I was like, maybe. And I never followed up on it. But I'm like 99% sure she probably wanted to. And I don't know why the fuck my brain fell out of my fucking head there. Dumb. How frequent of an occurrence is it getting beat up at a casino when you won a ton of money? Not common, because there's so much security at casinos. Was she older? I think like 4 or 5 years older maybe, but that was the one big fuck up moment for me, I guess. Yeah, my big fumble. But I looked her up. She's got like 7 kids now, and I think she's addicted to smack, so we're good.
Many of you have said, Tree, Brittany is a submissive. She's one of these bratty subs. You should do a collab with her. I said, no, hell, I won't. Because I can tell that there is something mentally off with Brittany.
That is why comedians make great dramatic actors, i.e. Robin Williams, Jim Carrey. It all stems from empathy and emotional intelligence. I don't know if that's always true, but Robin Williams and Jim Carrey are both really good serious actors. That is true.
Brittany, all right? She's one of these people that act like she's intellectually and emotionally superior, but she's not. But I didn't know that she was dangerous until this stream. And you know, guys, what I'm about. Those of you who are part of DGD, you know what I'm about to see. Okay? You know what you're about to see. But I'm going to explain something, because I think you all need to...
Even after so many years, do you still feel any regrets over missed opportunities to fool around? I don't think I would ever have a regret about missing sex. I think you can have regrets around missing potential romantic partners, though. Those are regrets you'll remember. Regrets missing sex, fuck it happens. Unless you're like a virgin forever, but missing potential romantic partners, that could be real regrets.
See something different through the eyes of a femdom. It was like with Mr. Girl, who also Destiny's befriended. When Mr. Girl did that, you're my...
Wait, you could cook. How come you had the chicken fiasco? I only know the memes. You're actually good at cooking. Like anybody can learn to cook. The chicken fiasco was because it was the first time I'd made grilled chicken in like 8 years, and I'd never used that pot and that stove before. So I just I don't know. But also, somebody that line cooks can't necessarily cook real food, because line cooking is like a totally different thing than cooking in like a kitchen. Like I'm trying to think of what our kitchen was in the back. It was 4 stovetops here. God, I could fucking run this shit, dude. Line cooking is like having a good team in the back too. It's literally like watching like professional like Overwatch or whatever. You have a good lead cook. I think he's usually on grill. And then he's calling tickets. Everybody's communicating. Everybody's like working in conjunction with each other. I think this is like sandwiches, salads. This is like toast and like random shit. You had your grills, you had your flat top. And then you had your like, this is for like chicken and burgers and shit. To cook shit here, like if I wanted to make like a breakfast, or I wanted to make like, let's say like a steak and eggs, right? There, you had things of butter. You put 3 eggs in a pan here. I think they're done in like a minute, and then you flip them with your hand. You just flip them over. Hash browns are going on a flat top. They can take a while, or you could spread them thin, or you could put a weight on them and spread them thin, which might go real fast, but they're going to be crispy. That's fine though. Everybody likes crispy hash browns. And then for a steak, you just toss it on the hot part of the grill for anywhere from, what was it, like 4 to 8 minutes, depending on how much they want it cooked. Then you flip it over for a couple minutes, and then it's done, and then you serve it. Like everything in a line assembly and like a professional kitchen is like very self-explanatory. Everything's on all the time. Everything works, like blah, 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 blah. This is a way different environment than like you're at home and you're like, okay, I need to cook a grilled chicken. Well, now I've got to turn the stove to some temperature. I've got a pot or pan that I've like never used before, blah, blah. If you're cooking regularly, you'll learn it all. But just because somebody can cook in a line doesn't necessarily mean you can throw them in a home and they can make like a good meal. Like for line cooking, it's all like everything is set out right there. Like the butter is in like a literal fucking containment jar or whatever. Like everything is like way different than preparing food in a home kitchen, I would say. Yeah, that's, yeah.
You're my doll. You're my human doll. He did that video where he made Shaylin cry. I broke that down from a femdom perspective. And it gave a lot of insight into it, because Max does that too. Max violates the boundaries of his crazy girlfriend. By the way, F her too. I don't like her anyway. But I was showing you how these crazy...
Did you ever feel morally weird about working at a casino? Having moral qualms with your work is a privilege exclusively reserved for incredibly wealthy people, my dude. Destiny, I grew up in North Platte, then later moved to Lincoln to finish college. I now live in NC, North Carolina. My sexual partners from Nebraska and Iowa were way better than East Coast girls. Have you had similar experiences? Bro, that's a lot of people. There's a lot of girls on the East Coast. I don't know if I would generalize from any region.
People that are into kink, particularly DNS, which Mr. Girl is into, where they do things, it's not pushing boundaries, it's violating someone's boundaries. It's actually doing something to them against their will and they did not give you consent, okay? So, I watched it.
Fuck, sorry, I'm getting so many messages in chat. Cooking is literally just following a recipe. If you're cooking at home, you're not creating new extravagant fucking dishes, just making some shit you got off the internet. I mean, like, kind of, but the hard part, okay, the intimidating part about cooking is that when you start cooking, you think that cooking is about like, okay, this is gonna go in this pan at mid-high temperature for 4 minutes and 25 seconds, and then I have to take this off exactly, and I've got to flip it 2 times, and blah, 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 blah. That's like when you're first getting into cooking. That's the really stressful part about learning how to cook, is that you think it's all rigid. The reality is, like, once you start cooking and you know that, like, every pan, every stove is a little different, basically you throw something in, you know about how long it needs to be in for. You can be off by 30 seconds, you know, pro or minus. You flip it, you can be off by a little bit, whatever. And then you do, like, cooking is very much like just like a thing that you grow into a habit of doing, where it's not like following a particular specific fucking recipe every time. You just develop a feel for the shit that you're cooking on. It's not like yeah. That's why, like, if you want to learn to cook, the most important thing is to just start doing it and then to develop, like, the rhythm and the feel for stuff. Because if you get, like, super hung up on, like, printing out, like, extravagant and exotic recipes and shit, it's just gonna be, like, really overwhelming really fast, I think.
This stream, I remember watching it live, where you have Abba, Brittany, Melina, and you have Steven. I'm watching Brittany's demeanor throughout the entire video, and if you guys watch this again, you'll see she takes side shots, she takes some digs, she takes a couple of jabs at Destiny.
Baking is nothing. Don't be near a baker, don't get a baker, don't do anything with baking unless you're anorexic, okay? Baking is the #1 way to add 50 pounds to your stomach in literally 6 months, okay? Stay far away from bakers, okay? Everything that goes into and comes out of the oven is the highest calorie, most delicious shit that you will ever have near your face, okay? Don't be very careful about that, okay?
I don't know what happened with the backstory of why she tries to take a couple of digs at Destiny, but something happened that we don't know. But I'm going to show you what she did and why has it been a year later and nobody said anything. So, Abba and Brittany, they're all sitting around talking, and all of a sudden, Brittany brings up about slapping Destiny.
Are we lifting?
Yes.
Or Ubering?
Okay. Is that a kid drive?
Cool.
Just stay on car.
Are you sure, Steven?
I should
Okay,
definitely.
wait.
You don't want one for the road?
Boys,
How are you gonna do it?
How hard do you want me to do it?
What is the point? Am I doing anything for this?
Even if it's after Abba,
This is
I wanted
what
to
you
show you some
want,
of the
the
prepping stuff.
The stream was requesting it. It wasn't even my idea. I wouldn't even thought about it. Your stream was like, slap him. And I was like, sounds kind of fun.
Steven, are you
So,
Fuck. I already know what she's gonna say. He's getting pressured by people around him. He's expressing discomfort or unsureness right here. It's being presented in the heat of the moment. Like, this is something that should have been discussed ahead of time so there'd be no discomfort or no uncertainty, as this is gonna be the...
by the way, every one of these people in here besides Brittany is vanilla. Are we clear? Because I personally asked Abba, is he in DNS? And you want to see why I asked him that, right? So, for anyone that is part of this world, and the world, when I say the scene, I'm going to use that interchangeably. I'm going to say the scene, I'm going to say this world. So whenever I say scene and this world, we're talking about kink, we're talking about domination, we're talking about submission, we're talking about fetish. Are we clear? Do you understand? So when I say scene, when I say world, I'm talking about that. All of that. Kink, domination, submission, fetishes. We're talking about all of that, okay? When someone from this scene interacts with a vanilla, you have to clear things up with that person first. The biggest violation in the scene is to do something without consent. And for anyone to sit up here, and kink is, I want you guys to understand something. Slapping is a kink. I should know. That is how I realized I was a dom. Real quick story. I was a bodyguard. When I got into policing, I was a bodyguard for some exotic dancers, and one of the dancers came down and said, Tree, this man wants me to slap him. I can't. He's one of my favorite customers. He gave me $100. I'll split it with you.
Okay, hold on. This is advanced cooking technique, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, okay? Another big thing that makes a huge difference for cooking any kind of meat is using a meat thermometer. Being able to target a certain temp is huge. I've never seen a really good cook use a meat thermometer before. I don't know if Lycan has an opinion about that, but Is that like a normal thing? Do good cooks usually use meat thermometers?
If you can go up there and slap him, he said, I told him that I have a big black bodyguard that would do it. She's very sexy, but if you come up there and do it, I'll give you the money. I went up there, had no problem. I told him to count to 3. I slapped him at the count of 1, and he basically climbed.
Some people said for large cuts, yes, it's very normal. Yes, it's so retarded. He's trolling. Thermometer is important. The thermometer makes the things run out. For big roast, usually, that's more of a barbecue. Oh, we are super heated in chat about this one. Wait, hold on. Let's poll on this. We got some strong opinions on both sides.
Next to his tighty whitey fruity balloons. She gave me the whole $100 bill. I was like, we was doing business ever since then. Okay? Because it came to me naturally to slap him. And man wants you to slap him sexually? No problem. I'll slap the shit out of you. And the thing about it is, it came to me naturally, and that is something that's not normal for most women. That was consensual. He paid her to do it. Therefore, she transferred the responsibility to me. Slapping is a kink. So when someone requests it, you are to do it. But when you do it to someone who didn't request it, you're a POS. So here we have Brittany saying the chat. She's using DGG, which is the chat, as an excuse to violate his boundaries, to actually do something. Now, I don't believe this was consensual, and I'm still going to stand on it. I know, Brittany, when you watch this video, you're going to sit up here and say that he could have said no. This is one of the flaws of Steven. Steven doesn't know how to say no to women.
This is true, too, and it's 100%. It's not to women, it's to anybody. It's that I should have put a stronger boundary here. It was 100% true.
And I have seen him allow women to violate his boundaries way too much. And this is one of them. But see, you're not a dom, you're a bottom. Why the hell would you take a dominant position and put your hands on this man?
That's another thing too, is that if you're the person that's like insinuating the activity, then you should be the one that's like being more responsible for your approach. I do this a lot. I try to bring this up every now and then, but I'm always critical of women for not reinforcing boundaries, like enforce a boundary, because so many of the stories we read are from women's perspectives. But like the same criticism is applied also to the man's side too, because the men are usually the ones pushing the sexual interactions. Well, if you feel like you've got to push and you're on the gas all the time, and the other person's like kind of hesitant, then you need to ease the fuck up, because you're the one that's like driving that interaction. You know, you're not going to have a problem, the other person is, and if you're not going to be aware of it, and if they're predisposed to not saying anything about it, then you're just setting yourself up for a bad time.
This is what I'm saying. The reason why nobody put a stop to this, because a lot of people don't realize what's going on. You don't understand the energy exchange. Brittany is not a dom. She never was a dom. She never was a top. Why the hell is she slapping Steven?
Were you apprehensive about being slapped at the time? I mean, not really, but I probably should be. I mean, it's not like she's gonna kill me. The only chefs that don't use meat thermometers are ones who think they're above it. It doesn't cause all the juices to leak out or anything, and it ensures food safety and gives you information about the doneness of the meat that you literally cannot get without using one. Wow.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Why the hell is she putting her hands on this man? And I'm not putting up with this. The chat told me to do it. Baby, I'm a domina. I'm 100% certified FDA bitch. Grade A bitch. None of you clowns, no offense, can sit up here and request me to violate somebody, especially somebody that's my friend. Boundaries. Since when does the chat has the power to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn about your damn request. Who gives a shit about your request? She
Meat
wanted
thermometer
to do
one.
It. No, Steven
Significantly.
let her do it. But no, this is what I'm saying, and I'm glad some of
Meat
y'all
thermometer
are trying
kings
to blame
on top.
Steven for this. Sure, Steven could have stand up to her, but my problem with Steven is that he let things go too far. But see, here's my problem with you stupid women. You don't realize when you out of place. You don't realize when you cross the line. You don't realize when you need to take ownership of your own actions. She brought up.
I've worked in tons of restaurants, and every chef I knew taught me to use their hand to tell me if the meat is done. Okay, I've heard this before, and I don't believe it. That thing about like touching your thing here to tell when the meat is done, first of all, you are never touching a fucking steak over and over again to check for doneness. That's delusional, number one. Number two, different cuts of meat are gonna have different tendernesses, right? Like a top, like a tenderloin or whatever is gonna be a lot different than a flank or skirt steak, which is gonna be different than like a fillet, which is gonna be different than like a parts, like even different parts of like a fucking ribeye or whatever are gonna have different like, I don't think you can ever fucking do that shit. I don't believe that.
She brought up the slapping. Tree, did you know Destiny spoke about his boundaries on stream when the Melina thing popped off? You're 100% right. Yeah, but guess what, Krieger? And what happened? He let it go too far. So yeah, so thank you for bringing that up. He let it go too far, and then he wants to talk about his boundaries. But see, I'm sorry. This is her fault. When I say her, I'm talking about Brittany. Okay? I'm talking about Brittany. CJ, can you shut up and let me do my stream? I'm not gonna tell you again. You acting like I'm stupid. Of course I seen the ABBA slap part, Brittany. I got the damn video up. What you think? It got the slap in here. So when I saw this, and I saw her go like this and said, the chat wants me to do it. The chat wants me to slap you. The chat, I'm like, no, that's not how that works. So if the chat told you to set his hair on fire, you're gonna sit up here and say, oh, come on, man, the chat wants me to do it. The chat asked me to do it. We don't pay attention to the chat when it comes to actions like this. So this is she rubbing her hands, but I gotta understand, I gotta show you what I am seeing, okay? And then I'm gonna hit play. I gotta show you what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a bottom trying to top her.
Do you sort out the women who cannot set boundaries, or do you still take what you can get? I think that I think people talk about setting boundaries a lot, but when they talk about setting boundaries, they only talk about it from the women's side, because the damage that can happen if you're not enforcing boundaries is like rape, which is annoying. However, I'm sorry. There's a lot of manipulative or boundary violating things that women can do that just don't get talked about as much because the consequences are usually not as severe for men. But I don't want to go run down this whole trade right now. But like, for instance, I actually think that it is. Here's something that I will say. You have this concept of a fuckboy. So it's a guy who pretends that he's going to date a girl, and he does that just so that she fucks him, okay? I would argue that's manipulative, and you shouldn't do that. But there's never any criticism for a woman who knows that a guy isn't interested in her really, but she keeps like trying to basically get him to interact with her by flaunting sex. Like, hey, do you want to hang out tonight? Blah, blah, blah. And the guy's like, I don't know, I'm kind of busy. You're like, oh, well, maybe I come over. Maybe we can fuck, whatever. It's like, the guy's like, okay, yeah, fuck it, sure, come over. I think that's actually manipulative from the woman's part. But nobody ever talks about women being manipulative with offers of sex because of weird, like, misogynistic, I would say, views of like how sex works. Like, oh, well, she's offering sex to get the guy to do something, but like women are the ones who are always at danger during sex and blah, blah, blah. But I would argue that's just as manipulative as a guy being a fuckboy. It's just that the consequences for the guy are usually not as severe. It's just like emotional manipulation or shit like that, you know?
Friend who's vanilla. Do y'all understand me? I'm seeing someone who's not in a position to be a top her friend. Now, before I was married, there's a lot of things I wanted to do something to some of my male friends, but I got their permission first by asking certain things. You know what I'm saying? I'll ask. I never popped anything out of the blue to any of.
Does this actually happen? Do this and I'll fuck you? Kind of. So here's what'll happen that's kind of annoying. Hold on. I might burn like 5 bridges right now. Listen. Let me make sure I'm not about to. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, actually, you know what? I don't care. If you think this applies to you, then fine, it applies to you and get mad and then don't talk to me anymore, okay? Fuck it, I don't care. Here's something that I noticed that girls will do. If for whatever fucking reason we still talk on Instagram, I try to move everybody over to Discord because I hate keeping up with 50 million fucking apps, okay? Girls will do a thing where sometimes you're messaging them and you're chatting with them, and sometimes I'm like busy and I can't read God, fuck, there's so many annoying DM things. I need to get better I have gotten better at it, but I need to get even more better, okay? I don't like all the games that have to be played with like read receipts. It actually drives me fucking insane. I hate it, okay? Sometimes you send a message and sometimes I'll read it and I just don't have like a response right away for it. That's it, okay? So I'll read it, but I feel like sometimes if I read a DM and there's a read receipt, the girl feels like she has to send another message. And it's like, no, I'll respond later. But like a girl will send me like 1 or 2 messages and I'll like read it. I was like, oh, okay, got it. And then I'll like put it away and I'll respond later. But I can't respond later because now she'll send me like 1 or 2 more messages. Like, okay. And then if I read those, then it'll be like 1 or 2 minutes. Like, why are you ignoring me? It's like, I just don't have time to respond right now. I can't respond right now. Okay. I'm not ignoring you. I read your message. So then we can't do that. So now what do we do? Okay. Well, now I can't ever open your DM. Now you're never getting read. Okay. So now you're not even left on read. Now you're left on notifications. So, but then what'll happen is if a girl thinks that you're only reading her notifications, what she'll do is she'll send a picture. And now it's like, okay, well, you sent me 2 messages, and now I can't see them because now you sent a picture and it scrolled my notifications off. And now it's like if I open it and it might be like a sexy picture, it's like, okay, well, fuck me. You're trying to like bait me with a picture to read the fucking conversation, and now I have to respond because now you sent a fucking picture, and I didn't even want to respond to the stuff earlier, and now I'm gonna respond to the picture. Now you're gonna get really, it's like, fuck me. I can't. Whew. This shit triggers the fuck out of me. I can't stand it. Oh my fucking God, I can't stand it. That type of shit triggers the fuck out of me. I think that's unethical. I think it's like, it's manipulation. Like, just let me read a thing and respond what I can instead of, yeah, Jesus. Okay. Why not turn them off? Can you turn off read receipts on Instagram? Hold on. Is that a thing? Oh, you can't. Okay, no. I'm talking about Instagram. Okay, yeah.
My male friends in the past. I've never done that. Because you always want consent. You always want consent. And when you do something that's one on a live stream, and I got a problem with this, I got a problem with women overstepping their boundaries and humiliating men that did not ask for it. You know what I'm saying? And because you know Steven is nice, because he done said that he trusts your dumb ass with his bank account information, you are now taking advantage of the friendship. She's a very bad person. And when I saw this, my freaking hand was covering my mouth. So here we go. So once again, she's a bottom, putting herself in a top position. She's out of pocket for that. She's not in a position to be in that. Can you be like both dominant and submissive? You can be a switch, but she's not a switch. A switch is someone who can go dominant and submissive. She's not a switch. She's never been a switch. She's always been a bratty, what she call herself a bratty bottom. And if she,
what about women acting like they're very sexual before the relationship and then go straight to 1 to 2s a week after? How is that not manipulative? I mean, I think that is, but then you just break up with a girl because you feel like you're not getting enough sex. That's totally fine. I don't know why people act like that's a big deal. Like, just say like, oh, I'm breaking up.
You want to sit up here and say she was a switch? I dare her to show me a video in her past where she said she actually did dom work. She ain't never do no damn dom work. When you are an alpha woman, you use your powers responsibly. This is why you don't let stupid bitches like this be in charge. Yeah, top it from the bottom. But in this case, this is non-consensual. This is non-consensual. And only an inexperienced dom would let a submissive top from the bottom. I know how to handle them bitches real quick. Okay, here we go. Hold on, let me, sorry.
What happens if you marry them and they stop fighting and then divorce them? I don't know. What do you mean?
After,
this is what you want. The stream was requesting it. It wasn't even my idea. I wouldn't even have thought about it. Your stream was like, slap him. And I was like, that sounds kind of fun.
Steven, you gotta get slapped now.
If you really want to. If you really want to do it.
And this made me angry. I was literally watching this live. I was literally watching this live. And this is my problem with Steven. If you really want to, what? But I gotta explain the dynamics here. I gotta defend Steven. Steven was smitten with Brittany. Anytime
I was not smitten with Brittany. That's a cute take on that, though. To be clear, okay, I don't reveal this for almost any person because I won't. Okay, me and Brittany never exchanged anything sexual, nothing even remotely in that context. That never happened.
Anytime our switch is real, yeah, there's a such thing as a switch. A switch is a real person. You can't. There's not that many switches, but there are people. There's way more submissive than there are doms. Excuse me. Hold on. Okay, let me explain the dynamics. Right. There's way more.
The problem is that, like, because I'm so easygoing, I usually just go along with anything because at the end of the day, it's probably not going to affect me that much.
Or submissive men.
You were on her OnlyFans? Yeah, she asked me to look at it on stream to review her fucking picture taking. What?
Are dominant women. And the reason why there's more submissive men than dominant women is because it is not in a woman's nature. It is not natural for a woman to be dominant, like especially like me. And the only way I'm this way is because of my upbringing. Okay, it is who I am. All right. Now, there are more male doms than there are female subs. Okay. When it comes to female doms, this ain't sexual for us. It's all about the power. Do y'all understand? When it comes to male doms, it's all about power and sex. Maybe sex first and then power, but power and then sex. Sex is a must with male doms. Sex is a must. With femdoms, we ain't interested in no ding-a-ling because we can get that. That's easy. Okay. We just in it for the power.
I felt like this interaction was totally fine, though. Throughout my life, people in friend groups, people would slap each other as a playful thing. No. Man, is that like a Hispanic thing, or is that like I actually just had a friend tell me this about a Hispanic partner they had. I've never heard that. Hitting somebody or whatever, that's not a normal thing in any of the groups that I've been in, but maybe my upbringing was very white or white middle class. I'm Eastern European. Oh, maybe, I don't know. Maybe like a little bit of like locker room banter, like stuff like that, but between like guys and girls, no, I don't think like girls hitting guys and that being cute. I don't think I haven't seen that. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying the groups that I ran with. Yeah. Okay. What else do we have going on here?
So do you think that you can prescribe your exact life to the general population?
No, I don't prescribe I'm not you. I don't
And
prescribe
why not?
one
And wait,
to the
I'm not
entire
prescribing my life to the general population.
I'm not prescribing.
Wait, why can't you prescribe your life? Jasmine, why can't you prescribe your life to the general population?
It has to do with nuance.
Wait, Jasmine, why can't you prescribe your life?
That is why I wouldn't prescribe the same life to you as I would to me. Okay, I never got on the internet for validation like you did. I don't think that's a good thing. That seems to be why you had negative outcomes because of it. I don't have bipolar disorder. That's going to negatively impact certain things that you do. That's why we shouldn't have the same prescription. You shouldn't do OnlyFans. I should.
Oof.
You don't have to pick one for both of us to agree to do the same thing.
So do you think most women should and can do OnlyFans?
Not most, but some. I don't think that the only thing.
But generally, so when you're generally prescribing,
women shouldn't be.
You agree with everything I say. You agree with everything I say.
Why would most women being able to do or not do something be an argument? She just said, yeah, for like the law school thing. Like, should most women be lawyers? Like, probably not. But I don't think that's an argument for or against anything.
Say, Jasmine, to do well in law school. It's not for.
I think the most annoying. Okay, me and Lav are on goodish terms. Sorry, okay. So I don't know if I'm preemptively burning a non-existent bridge. I think one of the most annoying things that Lav does, and you really see it in her fights with Lauren, is Lav is the biggest projector of insecurities ever. You can almost guarantee that whatever she's attacking somebody over is like the biggest insecurity she has at any point in time. That's always the case. And it's so like annoyingly transparent. I wish you would stop doing it. XTF, thanks for the $5, buddy.
For everybody, but that doesn't mean some women shouldn't be lawyers. Doesn't mean some women.
You agree with every. Okay, so you don't think. Okay. Answer these questions with a yes or no, please. Would you prescribe most women your life?
Would I prescribe most women in my life to do OnlyFans?
Sure.
Is that the question?
Yeah.
I prescribe like 30%.
30% is a really high number. That number should probably be like 1 to 2%, maybe? 30% is a super high number, but
okay, so that's not the general population
most,
then.
The whole point of life is I don't know why you're so retarded that you see everything black and white and everyone has to have the same job and everyone needs to be the same person, everyone has to do the same thing. I think some
never said
people
that.
should be nuclear
You're
physicists.
shadowboxing.
I think some women should be
You're
nurses.
shadowboxing.
I think some women should be X, and I think some women should do OnlyFans. I am one of those women. I'm very sorry that you had the life that you did, where this was not a good option for you because you're crazy. You shouldn't do this.
she means women in her life? Oh, maybe from the friend group she has. That might be true. Maybe.
If you're a crazy girl, I agree, but I'm not. So that's why this is good for me. I'm sorry. Okay.
So do you think that you can prescribe your...
Jesus. Okay. Brittany Peache, an account executive at Cloudflare, records her layoff experience.
Hey, Brittany.
Hi.
Yes, I'm so sorry. My name's Rosie. I'm just joining the call. Nice to meet you. I'm on the HR team.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi.
Thanks for meeting with me and Rosie. We have an important meeting today. We finished our evaluations of 2023 performance. This is where you have not met Cloudflare expectations for performance. We've decided to part ways with you.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you right there.
Sure.
So I started August 25th. I've been on a 3-month ramp, and then it was 3 weeks of December, and then a week of Christmas, and then here we are.
When she says a 3-month ramp, is that like some like employee improvement plan or action plan or whatever? What is that? Was it in text here or? Oh, your ramp, your onboarding. Oh, gotcha. Training for a job. Okay.
I have had the highest activity amongst my team. Since I've started, I have had 3 contracts out, done a really great job managing my deals up until the very end that decided not to close last minute. So I don't think that makes a lot of sense for me in my Cloudflare journey here so far. Also, every single one-on-one I've had with my manager, every conversation I've had with him, he has been giving me nothing but I am doing a great job. I have had great activity. I have really great meetings. I'm picking up the products very quickly, and things have been going really, really well. I make really great relationships with my clients. So I disagree that my performance hasn't been, I haven't met performance expectations.
I'm so curious. She must have known she was going to get fired, right? Because they scheduled this meeting and she's recording ahead of time. Are they going to get into it in the video why she was? I guess they're probably going to get into it, huh?
I certainly have, just because I haven't closed anything officially.
I hear you.
Also, why are you doing this and not my manager? We've never met, so this seems a little odd that my manager has no idea that this has been happening and the director has no idea that this has been happening. So I'm just definitely confused, and I would love an explanation that makes sense.
100%. Real quick, let me carve out the 2 threads. The latter of why I'm on this conversation, I'll put that one to the second half, and Rosie might be better to explain the process of who's giving this information in the prior piece, which is your feedback and notes about your performance. So let me add a little color context to that. So just for clarification, you are not being singled out in this. Your peers are also being collectively assessed on performance. This is a collective calibration for Cloudflare. So I just want to clarify that piece. I won't be able to add any kind of specifics on numbers or...
Can you explain for me why Brittany Peach is getting let go?
I won't be able to go into specifics for numbers.
Wait, why though? I just started. I've been working extremely hard. Just because I haven't closed anything that has...
Oh, so it's just like layoffs, and she's probably just not a top performer, so they're just dumping a ton of people, and she's one of them. I'm guessing it's at-will employment. Isn't that the entire U.S.? What is she going to do? Debate them into keeping her job, or...
Nothing to do with my performance on a 3-month ramp with just 1 month with 2 major holidays in the middle. I don't think that has anything to do with why I should be let go, if that makes sense. So I really need an answer and an explanation as to why Brittany Peach is getting let go, not why Cloudflare decided to hire too many people and are now actually realizing that they can't afford this many people and they're letting that go. If that's the real answer, I would rather just you tell me that instead of making up some bullshit and telling me that right before I lose my job from someone that I've never met before.
What? Am I to give advice on this? I doubt she actually cares. If you genuinely want to know, or if you're genuinely looking for an answer, you might be able to communicate with a manager, or maybe even this guy's like, hey, listen, I appreciate that at least I'm having the conversation. Is there any feedback you could give me for performance at future jobs that you wouldn't mind sharing? I feel like something like that maybe, but tell me the real reason why you're firing me, not some bullshit. It sounds like she's trying to trap him into saying something that's going to get him fucking civil, title, is Title 9? What's the title for wrongful termination due to gender or whatever? Wrongful termination lawsuit. It sounds like she's trying to get him to fuck up and say, is it Title 7? I don't know. She's trying to get him to fuck up and say some dumb shit like this or whatever.
Never met before, if you can respect that.
Yeah, I can totally respect that. And I don't think Dom or myself today is going to give you any clarity or answers that's going to meet the expectations that you're communicating to us, Brittany. So I can't.
Well, it's pretty annoying when bosses lie right to your face. Yeah, but I feel like it's probably the same thing I would say to girls who talk about like, should I ghost a guy or should I tell him why I'm not going to meet him again? And I say, you should just ghost him. Because when you talk to guys and you tell them why not, then they just argue with you about it. Like, is it worth it for HR to explain to every employee, like, listen, you just weren't a top performer, I'm sorry. Because all they're going to do is like fight with you over it. Like, oh, well, I was trying to close this out. Like, is it even worth it for the employer to say anything, especially if she's only been working there for, so did I understand this correctly? Is she only been working there for 3 months? Like, I mean, like, why even bother? Why waste the time?
Can't speak to.
So am I getting let go for no reason? If you guys can't give me a reason?
I'm happy to follow up with you separately to give you the data that was calibrated. I'll need to speak with revenue leadership specifically to see if we can get that for you. But Dom and
can
I
you
did
share
not
that
have
with me
that
now?
in our meeting. I cannot share that with you right now, unfortunately. Yeah, it's understandable how you feel and your frustration. Cannot stress that enough.
I have been working extremely hard. I just knew that this meeting was coming after knowing what's been happening with my peers and how.
I also I hate to sound like a dick. I'm sorry, guys. I hate to sound like a dick, but we're in the real world, professional world. Actually, if there's like manager people out here, if you think I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. When I hear an employee say, I've been working extremely hard, my go-to assumption is always that you're a worthless fuck employee and you probably don't work hard and you probably suck shit at your job. Because if you worked really hard and you were doing good work, you would just start giving me numbers. I've closed this many deals. I've made this much money. I brought you this much revenue. I've done this many content, whatever department or whatever you work in, you would just tell me shit. When you say like, I work really hard, the fuck is that supposed to mean? It sounds like you don't do shit. That I could be wrong. Yeah. And she said earlier that she hadn't closed anything, but also to be fair, she said she's only been working there for 4 months. So maybe she hasn't had time, but maybe they hired too many people and they let go. Like, I mean, what do they owe you? Ramp is a common tech sales term. You're not expected to hit quota and you get paid quota for the first quarter. She's just trying to get them to say something to sue them. That's what it sounds like. Yeah. Or they probably did hire too many people and then now they're going to let some go or some shit. Yeah. I don't know.
Extremely frustrated and upset everyone is. I know you guys must not be able to understand that given in the positions that you are in, and it must be very easy for you to just have these little 10-minute, 15-minute meetings.
Like no, that is not true. Firing people is not easy. It's one of the worst. This is why the people that work in HR are like sociopathic, because these conversations suck. Why would you assume that it's like easy to fire people or anything? Like, it's not. These are horrible conversations. Like, she's doing some shit like, oh, it's because of capitalism.
Tell someone that they're fired, completely wreck their whole life, and then that's it with no explanation. That's extremely traumatizing for people, if you can imagine that. And I don't think that this is, it's just very, very shocking. Very, very shocking. I have like really given my whole energy and life over the last 4 months to this job. And to be let go for no reason is like a huge slap in the face.
Okay, hold on. This is a sales job, right?
Company that I really...
If you were an employee and you saw this TikTok, would you hire that person? Absolutely not. I would never fucking hire this person. Hell no.
...wanted to believe in.
I can absolutely understand how you feel that way, why you feel that way. And I'll be honest with you, there's nothing that we're going to say in this call and the time that we have that's going to undo the way that you feel right in this moment. I personally will do everything that I can to give you as much specific information as I can after this call. I can't make any promises. I understand where you're coming from. I can tell you that Dom and I do care. I understand the feeling that you have right now. And I can't change that. So I'll just be honest.
But why can't, you guys have still not given me a reason why I'm being let go. Despite constant positive praise from my manager, great meetings that I'm having, the amount of activity that I have has all been positive.
I see you posting the Pixie link 50 million times where she agrees with the girl. I don't care. I don't know why you keep posting this. Pixie said she did nothing wrong. Anyone says otherwise is a corporate bootlicker. That's fine. I don't care. What do you want me to say about this? This is one line. It's a dumb tweet. I don't agree with it. There's nothing I can comment about this. I don't know why you keep linking it 50 million times. Jesus Christ.
Received any negative inclination. I have not been put on a performance improvement plan. Nothing. So.
And I cannot speak to what your manager has communicated to you directly.
But that should be the indication of
for performance based on your attainment and leading indicators of data. That is the rationale.
But I've been here for only a month after ramping, and that was during a holiday. So I don't understand what those, can you explain what those performance metrics are? Or is that just like a vague term to give to everyone that you're speaking to today?
I'll say that the performance indicators and performance metrics are, while they are, we're not able to go into specifics, and there's no situation where we will be able to go into
Do you guys even know like why, like who you're talking to each day? Like
this is so performative and cringe, bro. It's a job at Cloudflare. They don't know you. They don't like you. They don't give a fuck about you. It's an employer. They're your boss. They don't give a fuck about you. Yes, welcome to the workforce, okay? Especially when you're working for a large business. They don't know you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care if you can feed your kids. They don't care if you can afford your brand new lip fillers or your nice eyebrows. They don't give a fuck about any of that shit, okay? All they care is, are you making the money? And if you're not, they'll cut you, okay? Don't have loyalty to your big bosses, because they sure as fuck don't have loyalty to you. Yes, welcome to the workforce.
Every single 10, 15 minutes, do you guys even know who you're talking to? Like why you're letting these people go when you don't even understand like the kind of work and everything that they've put in?
I hear you and what you're saying.
It just doesn't make any sense that you guys have still not been able to give me a reason why I'm being let go.
Just from a process perspective, your questions are valid. This isn't going to be the forum and the situation where we're able to go into the detail that you're looking for.
But then when? If it's not right as I'm getting fired, then it's certainly not going to be after, when I'm no longer part of the company.
How old do you think this girl is? I'm going to guess 24.
So I don't think there's anything we can...
The dude is fucking egging her on, though, with his fucking robotic responses. Nope, the dude is probably doing exactly what he's been instructed to. They're probably not supposed to give specifics. All they're probably doing is, it's probably like a, would you call it an offboarding? The termination process. There might be some what do you have to collect? Isn't it like location for final paycheck or some dumb shit just to like make sure everything's like cleaned up? That's probably all they're authorized to do on this call. They're not authorized to go into specifics. So that's the only answer he can give. He literally already said, I'm not going to give you any specifics. You're not going to get any answers that are going to make you happy. That's it. But she thinks she can like bully them into doing it. It's just, exit interview. Yeah. Like that's it.
So I don't think there's anything we can say in this moment or today, Brittany, that's going to change the way that you feel. And it's understandable. I'm taking notes and feedback, and we'll circle back.
Yeah, I know you did that for Nestle too, but that's
the meeting. It's not going to change the outcome of the situation today. So it may be best if I do get into more of the specifics of what the next steps are, because I think it's clear that you have questions that we cannot give answers to. And if you'd be open to it, I'd love to move into what the next steps are, so that you're not any further blindsided than you already feel.
Okay.
Thank you, Dom. Okay, and I'm really sorry that you're having this experience and feeling this way. One of the things that we want to confirm is your personal email address, because that's where all...
Okay. We fired about 40 salespeople out of over 1,500 in our go-to-market org. That's a normal quarter. When we're doing performance management right, we can often tell within 3 months or less of a sales hire, even during the holidays, whether they're going to be successful or not. Sadly, we don't hire perfectly. We try to fire perfectly. In this case, clearly we were far from perfect. That video is painful for me to watch. Managers should always be involved. That's probably true. I think for Pam, I think I went to HR with her, but I think the manager is probably usually involved. That's probably true. HR should be involved, but it shouldn't be outsourced to them. No employee should ever actually be surprised they weren't performing. We don't always get it right, and sometimes underperforming employees don't actually listen to the feedback they've gotten before we let them go. Importantly, just because we fire someone doesn't mean they're a bad employee. It doesn't mean won't be really great. It doesn't mean they won't be really great somewhere else. Chris Paul was a bad fit for the Suns, but he's undoubtedly a great basketball player, and in fact, we think the right thing to do is get people we know are unlikely to succeed off the team as quickly as possible so they can find the right place for them. We definitely weren't anywhere close to perfect in this case, but any healthy org needs to get the people who aren't performing off. That wasn't the mistake here. The mistake was not being more kind and humane as we did, and that's something Zaitlin and I are focused on improving going forward. Okay. I don't know what the fuck up is. I mean, like, getting fired always sucks. I mean, how are you gonna... Well, in that last speech you talked about trauma. Also, it has been 2 weeks and you committed. Read me. Once controversial theory of trauma became the dominant way we make sense of our lives. Holy fuck, Irk. This is like a 2-hour article. I will read this though, okay? We will read it. It's up on my links, okay? Sounds like the manager gave her everything is good and then everything wasn't good. Yeah, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I have low expectations of employers. That's basically, but I don't know. Maybe because I didn't have like real jobs and I just work like shitty, not retail jobs, service jobs, I guess. But I will also say this, and I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Because I'm going like by anecdote of like what friends have told me that work in these industries. This girl is probably, I'm making a huge assumption, I could be right. This girl's probably not cut out for sales. My understanding is that sales jobs and like metrics and measurements, these are like the most brutal fuck jobs that you can work. This is like every fucking month. Most people I know that do sales jobs are like car sales. So maybe car sales isn't the same as like everything else, but like these are the most brutal fucking jobs. You have like your quotas, you have to fucking hit them. You are rated against every fucking employee. Excuses, being sick, none of that shit fucking matters. And if you're like crying over like losing a job in 4 months, so you're probably never going to be like a big salesperson. But who knows? You know, maybe not. Maybe for Cloudflare sales, maybe for something different. Maybe it's not the same. Maybe it's different in different industries, but. Read the Reddit comments. I already know what the Reddit comments are going to be. I'm too lazy to make a bingo card, but it's going to be like billionaire managers firing her for no reason, poor economy, Gen Z can't work, she probably didn't slave hard enough, took a vacation so they fired her. It's going to be capitalism. This is why we can't find jobs anymore. It's going to be a bunch of dumb shit like that. I got laid off after 4 months of employment. They had to DC tell me their budget was fucked and nothing to do with my performance. Employee quitting without any advance notice. Rude, unprofessional, bad form. You'll never work in this town again. Company firing employee without any advance notice. Unfortunately, regrettable, but there's no other option. Sorry. Don't let it. To be clear, you don't have to give a 2 weeks notice if you're quitting a job. It's considered polite, and if you want a good reference from your prior employee, you should do it. But if you want to quit, I'm pretty sure, unless you've got like weird contract, you just fucking up and leave. You don't have to give 2 weeks notice at all. You just say, fuck it. You start no call, no showing. Let me know what my exit interview is. I'm out of here. But obviously you can't use them as a reference, but. Limeo, Destiny is so anti-left he can't judge a TikTok on its merits and has to assume a bunch of shit about the person in it. What do you... Corey Washburn, what assumption or what thing do you think I just said that has anything to do about being anti-left? Or I guess maybe in your mind, if like being pro-left is being like a 19-year-old Zoomer dipshit that has no idea how like the world of employment works or how brutal, like when you step outside of your classroom and you have to actually like outperform other employees to keep jobs and get paid. Like I don't even think I said anything that controversial. Pretty sure most people acknowledge that sales jobs are really brutal. And if you're crying over losing a job in 4 months in sales, you probably are not cut out for sales. This is just a brutal job. Destiny, that's BS. Notice period is always the expectation. It is not neutral to not respect the notice period. I'm not saying it's not neutral. I'm just saying it's not like illegal. If you just want to quit your job and not give them a 2 weeks notice, it's not like they can arrest you for it. But obviously they're going to hate you, right? Doesn't your contract specify the notice period? I think if you leave, it would technically be breach of contract. I mean, maybe you'll forfeit some PTO or something, but I doubt it. No way. Could they take money from you if you don't give a 2 weeks notice? I don't know. I'm not sure. In some countries it is. What should I have for well actually bans? We'll do 2 weeks. Good job, Pingo. You got the first, do we have that emote yet? You got the first well actually ban. I'm gonna start banning for well actuallys. Fucking retard. In some countries, I'm speaking for the United States, obviously. It might be different in other countries, you fucking moron. Then they should not have hired her in the first place. They should have better test before hiring. The moral responsibility is on the employer, not on her. The moral responsibility? What? Isn't it fair for employees to complain about lack of notice if employers expect notice? No, I think you can complain about it. I think you can complain about it, but like my default assumption is that employers don't give a fuck about you. So like my complaining would be, this fucking piece of shit fucking fired me with no fucking notice. And these fuckers knew they were going to fire me because they have their numbers, because they don't make the decision, right? Where you get mad at them. But like to be on a call and be like, I worked so hard and I just want you to please, like, I mean, like, bro, they don't give a fuck about you. What, you think crying to HR is going to help you? What are you, fucking 12 years old? Are you like trying to get an extra Oreo from your mom before you go outside to play? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, why are we crying to an employer? You're never getting anything good out of this. This is only hurting you. I'm sorry, I'm giving you dad advice now. This is only, you know what you guys need to see? Here's what you guys need to see. Here's what you guys need.
Today we are talking about Jason Nash.
Shut up. Find me the video. God damn it, what am I looking for? August, what do you want me to... I already clicked this and it looked boring as fuck. Oh, didn't we already watch this on stream? I'll watch it again. Fuck it, hold on. Fuck! Where's the video of like is it a guy or a girl, a son, crying into a webcam and then the dad comes in and catches him? Fuck. Dad catches son crying webcam. This is an old video. This is like a 15-year-old video. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Oh my god, you got it. This is what you guys need.
This was me, yeah, for crying out loud. God damn it.
Oh, it's just gonna be cringe fucking meme compilations. Can I find the original video anywhere, or is it just gonna be with this fucking retarded shit adding on? Oh my god, you found it. Oh, this is the keyboard cat one. God damn it. I don't care, fuck it. We'll watch the meme guy.
You need to stop.
No, never mind. I don't want to listen to this fucking... Ugh, okay, we'll do the keyboard cat one.
This was me, yeah, for crying out loud. God damn it. I had this.
Scott, kill it. Go offline. Scott. Scott.
What?
Go offline. Go offline.
Who was on the phone?
Nobody's on the phone. He was on his channel and he's having his...
Scott.
God
Like,
damn.
turn off his computer tonight.
Cut yourself off,
This-
Scott. You're
No,
not...
Scotty. That's just stupid.
You're
honey.
being stupid now. Now you're going and putting yourself up there as someone to laugh at. God damn, where are your brains, boy? Having a meltdown online?
You were
Where are your
online?
goddamn brains?
You were online?
Yes, he was on his frickin' channel, whining and crying and acting like a 3-year-old to the entire world. Where are your goddamn brains?
Like I said, you don't understand.
No, you don't understand. You're making an ass of yourself for all eternity.
That's what you guys need to realize, okay? This shit right? It might get you a whole bunch of fucking soy queen claps from your fellow TikTok losers, but why the fuck would anybody want to hire somebody that's going to make this big of an upset over getting terminated? Fuck that shit. Fuck that. Not worth it. Not worth it. Okay, August wants me to watch this. We've already watched it, but we'll watch it again.
Okay. Just be making phone calls, dude. All right. Okay, you on the timer, son?
Yeah.
Who's your team leader?
Todd.
Todd. Yep.
Okay, well, what about this then? So,
hey, I got disconnected. I was trying to get hold of Bill.
Business, we'll give you a 30-day out. If we can't make you up 15% in business, you contract ends. We'll cancel the term.
Where's your script
Give
at?
us 30 days to help your guys.
Fuck it, dude. I don't need you remembering it. I need you reading it.
We'll cancel
Okay.
the contract. We'll give
I
you a
need you
30-day
reading the
out.
script the way I want it done. Okay. Make the calls.
Yep.
You're my best guy, right?
I hate everybody. Dude, everything related to sales is just like, I would never. These are bad people, okay? The people, the managers, the employees, they're all bad people, okay?
That means yeah.
Hi, is this Bill?
Okay, good. So I'll reach back out with you. And
Oh, Bill Jr. Hey, it's Mike Bonnet from Grant Cardone's offices. We spoke the other day.
We'll do that. If we can train your guys.
I'm doing very well. Hey, listen, I just wanted to see if we can catch up and get 5 minutes of your time to show you Grant's program.
We'll cancel the contract. But when should I circle back with you? In a week or two?
I wanted you to personally call.
Okay, sounds great, John.
That's
All right,
what
we'll
the
talk to you
script
soon.
says.
Well, Grant personally wanted me to call you to get 5 minutes of your time to show you the program.
How are you today? I'm doing fantastic.
When's a better time to call you
I saw
back?
that you were looking for some information regarding Cardone University and wanted to see what type of details I could pass your way.
Yeah, that's fine. 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock? Make it 3 p.m.?
Sure, no problem.
All right, perfect. Are you actually going to give me a real 10 minutes to show this to you at 3 p.m.?
Would you be looking for information on just for yourself as, one user, or do you have a
No, actually, you're right. I apologize for that. All I need is 5 minutes to show it to you.
Okay, perfect.
At 3
No
p.m.
problem at all. So,
Okay,
what it is
look
the
forward to
place where
seeing you
can
then.
Go to get access to
All right,
Grant
bye-bye.
Cardone 24 hours
Okay,
a day, 7
look,
days a week to be your
this is the deal,
personal
dude.
sales
Okay.
Yep.
and
You bounce
success
it.
coach.
I'm bouncing.
Now we got to get you good.
Okay.
You want to get good?
I want to get awesome. I want to be a massive salesperson.
Okay, I need you to follow the script. I need you to stay in the chair. I don't need you running down the hall,
All right.
running all over the place. That has no value. Okay? I know you think it does something to you and makes you better. It doesn't. You need to just right here, dude. Okay.
All right.
You pound frequency. You
All
got to
right.
be frequent before you're going to be great.
All right.
You're never going to be great on a handful of phone calls. Okay. So when people say it's not a numbers game, it's bullshit. It
Okay.
is numbers because it starts breaking your. You need numbers to get great, okay?
Okay.
And how many
So
people,
you
do
need
you
to get
have on,
this in the call. Hey, I'm calling because Mr. Cardone wants me to give you something.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. What's he want? What's he want to give me? He wants to give you a program. He's created a sales tool that can increase sales 15 to 40%.
Yep, within the first 30 days.
Okay. It's not a bit. I'm telling you, it's not an over exaggeration.
Okay.
But before I do that, I need to know a few things, sir, to be sure this can help you. I'm going to give you the script. It's right here. All you got to do is read off this. You don't need to write it again. Oh, what are you taking notes?
I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to my fusion shop and I'm just going to hammer.
Okay.
Okay, good.
I'm going to hammer everybody.
Good. What are the two things
Like advertising,
that your sales team could benefit from? What are the two problems? What's that
This could potentially be a better movie than Whiplash, bro.
one magical problem? What's that thing? That one thing that
Whiplash, but for a call center.
sits in your ass that bothers you every day.
What
You got-
pisses you off?
And then it's going to be good. Okay.
Okay.
When can I show you this?
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. I'm hammering.
Okay. You got a timer? Does he have a timer? Everybody in here needs timers, Todd.
Got it.
I want
So
the
you're
little
pulling
cook
custom
timers,
home
okay?
builders that
I want the cook timers in
obviously then
15
use your
minutes to find out how many
product
fucking
to
phone
go
calls
Got
he's
it.
making. Because
Okay.
if he can't manage
And
control
so
his
when you
time,
actually do find somebody to
so these guys are
speak to,
running off the
what
clock.
then
They don't even know what
becomes
time
our
it
part
is.
of your
Everybody
job.
needs to cook.
15-minute little cook time.
Pete, get everybody a cook timer. Cook timer, sit on the desk and take 5. Bank on it 15 minutes.
I know
and
those are different.
Here we go. Let's roll. Let's roll.
Let's go. Make calls.
Well, we can do something for either of those or even put together a package for both. Give me a call back in 30 minutes here at 310-777-0255. 310-777.
Okay, that you have a more valuable product.
Again, this is
Bring it on, Come on, tornado!
Yeah, Steve told you.
Let's go, make a call, guys. We got tornadoes in here.
You're hearing a lot of price objections.
Make calls before the freaking electricity goes down. Let's go. We got tornadoes and we're still making calls.
I watch this video every morning or whenever I'm feeling ungrateful to help me realize how grateful I should be with my nice work from home software development job. Secretly, learning to handle this kind of pressure really sets you up to be an amazing negotiator. It teaches you how to run with bigger fish. I know to many of us, it seems like it's purely uncomfortable overbearing, but learning to overcome your own emotions in these situations and not be affected by them is priceless. That is kind of true. If you can be like an effective salesperson, that there are a lot of like negotiation life skills that are like, it is like some of the most hardcore psychology mindfucky shit. Like if you could do it well, but geez, it feels scummy. People are linking Jordan, oh no, wait. Grant Cardone lashes out at Jordan Belfort. Jordan Belfort smoked his ass.
He's a fucking criminal.
I always get really hesitant, like, listening to people that got famous because of, like, fucking movies and shit. Now, I know somebody's like, oh, no, he wrote a book before Wolf of Wall Street, blah, blah, blah. But, like, I followed a lot of the stuff that oh God, what was the name of the guy that was the big investor dude at Scion Capital in the Big Short movie? Fuck, what was the name of that guy? Michael something? Am I making that up? Michael Burry? That guy's finance takes, every single thing he said in the past 5 years has been fucking retarded. Literally every single thing. Like everything. So I don't always know sometimes if these guys just got like lucky once or like if what exactly the deal is with some of the people that get made movies about them or something, but I don't know. Jesus.
Criminal.
Doesn't he still make insane money? Michael Burry? Does he? I don't know. Maybe he does actually, and the shit that he just puts on Twitter is fucking retarded. But he was one of those people that jumped on the that GameStop meme shit and just everything he said was fucking retarded. And he talks about like how isn't he one of those like big like gold support? I don't know. Everything I saw him say about anything was fucking retarded. I don't care that much about any of these people. He has a massive hedge on the global semiconductor market. What does he actually do now? Let's check. Wait, so does he manage other people's money now, or is it just his own? He runs a hedge fund. It's saying right here that he closed the hedge fund in 2008 to focus on his personal investments. Hedge fund manager. Is that what he does now? Highly critical of the lockdowns during COVID-19. Yeah, go figure. He's been shorting the market for like 4 to 5 years now. Absolutely wrecked. Yeah, one thing you have to be careful of is when people say things like this guy's predicted like every market high and every market low. That's not impressive. What's impressive is if you predict them when it happens and those are the only predictions you make. Because there's a lot of people that will like predict highs for like 20 years and they'll be right a few times. That doesn't matter if you keep predicting the same shit over and over and over and over again.
Problem I see is with salespeople, a lot of people, they have a fear of cold calling. Yeah. So they'll use as an excuse to not cold call, to talk to someone for too long. They know he's not going to buy. They get into casual conversations. They go off to fucking Pluto. Yeah, and well, they don't pick up next call. So that's what bothers me about doing that.
Yeah, well, then they're not trained. Because they shouldn't be having casual conversations. We shouldn't be talking about the weather and sports and politics.
But you know, in the absence of 24/7 supervision, that's what salespeople do. They do.
Well, there should be 24 hours. There should be 24/7 supervision. They should be. The phone calls should be recorded. The manager should know exactly what they opened with.
But in the real world, though, that's not. Here's the thing.
In my real world, it's possible.
I know, but
in your real world, maybe it's not. But in your real world, everybody's using drugs. So in my real world, fucking nobody's using drugs.
Problem I see is with salespeople, a lot of people.
Wait, why can't you have 24/7 surveillance? Aren't they doing all these calls like on computers and shit? Like, don't you know exactly what everybody's doing at all points in time?